In today's world of constant information overload, where news, opinions, and data bombard us from all directions, one skill has become more valuable than ever: critical thinking. It is the ability to analyze, evaluate, and reason clearly and fairly. Without it, we fall victim to manipulation, misinformation, and flawed decision-making. In Critical Thinking, Tools for Taking Charge of Your Learning and Your Life, renowned scholars Richard Paul and Linda Elder provide a practical guide to mastering this essential skill. This book does not simply define critical thinking, it gives readers a framework and practical tools to apply it in everyday life, education, business, and personal decision-making. Paul and Elder argue that critical thinking is not about being negative or skeptical for the sake of it. Rather, it's about developing the intellectual discipline to question assumptions, assess evidence, recognize biases, and make decisions based on sound reasoning. This summary will take you through the book's key concepts, frameworks, and examples so that you can start applying critical thinking to transform your own life. What is critical thinking? At its core, critical thinking is the art of analyzing and evaluating thinking in order to improve it. It means looking beneath the surface, questioning assumptions, and asking whether ideas are logical, fair, and supported by evidence. Paul and Elder emphasize that everyone thinks, but few think critically. Our natural thinking is often biased, distorted, or self-serving. Critical thinking helps us overcome these limitations. The elements of thought. The authors outline 8 elements of thought that underlie all reasoning. Purpose. Every thought has a goal. What am I trying to accomplish? Questions. What question am I trying to answer? Information. What data, facts, or experiences am I relying on? Interpretation. How am I interpreting or making sense of the information? Concepts. What ideas or theories shape my reasoning? Assumptions. What am I taking for granted without proof? Implications. If I believe this, what follows? What are the consequences? Point of view. From what perspective am I reasoning? What other perspectives exist? Practical example. Imagine you are deciding whether to change careers. Your purpose is to improve your professional and personal life. Your questions include, will this career bring me fulfillment, and is it financially stable? Your information comes from job market research and personal experiences. Your assumptions may include, stability only comes from traditional jobs. By questioning these assumptions and considering multiple points of view, you can make a better decision. Intellectual standards. Good reasoning must meet certain standards of quality. Paul and Elder identify 9 key intellectual standards. Clarity. Is my thinking easy to understand? Accuracy. Is it true and free from errors? Precision. Is it detailed and specific? Relevance. Does it relate directly to the issue at hand? Depth. Does it address complexities instead of oversimplifying? Breadth. Does it consider multiple perspectives? Logic. Does it make sense or are there contradictions? Significance. Does it focus on the most important issues? Fairness. Am I being objective or am I biased? Example. If you are debating a political issue, you can ask, is this claim accurate? Does it consider different points of view? Is the argument logical and fair? Applying these standards ensures that your reasoning is strong and defensible. The barriers to critical thinking. While the tools of critical thinking are powerful, using them is not easy. Paul and Elder warn about several barriers that prevent people from thinking critically. Egocentric thinking. We naturally see the world through our own biases and self-interest. Sociocentric thinking. We adopt the beliefs of our social group without questioning. Conformity. Fear of being different can silence critical questions. Overconfidence. Believing we already know everything reduces openness to new ideas. Example. A company that refuses to change its outdated business model because this is how we've always done it is trapped in sociocentric thinking. Critical thinking requires the courage to challenge tradition when evidence shows it no longer works. The development of the critical thinker. Paul and Elder describes critical thinking as a lifelong journey, with different stages. Unreflective thinker accepts beliefs without questioning. Challenged thinker becomes aware of flaws in their thinking. Beginning thinker starts to practice self-examination. Practicing thinker applies tools of reasoning consistently. Advanced thinker thinks critically in most areas of life. Master thinker, critical thinking becomes second nature. Example, a student who once memorized information without question becomes a practicing thinker when they begin analyzing sources, questioning arguments, and forming independent conclusions. Applying critical thinking to real life. In education, critical thinking transforms passive learning into active learning. Instead of memorizing facts, students learn to evaluate information, connect ideas, and solve problems creatively. In work and business, professionals who think critically can solve problems more effectively, avoid costly mistakes, and innovate. Leaders who encourage questioning and evidence-based reasoning foster stronger organizations. Example, a business team deciding on a new product launch can use critical thinking by gathering accurate data, analyzing risks, and considering customer perspectives before making a decision. In personal life, critical thinking helps us make better choices about relationships, health, and personal growth. Instead of reacting impulsively, we pause, reflect, and evaluate. Example, before making a major purchase, instead of relying on emotion or advertisement, a critical thinker asks, "Do I really need this? What are the alternatives? What evidence supports this choice?" Conclusion. Critical Thinking, Tools for Taking Charge of Your Learning and Your Life by Richard Paul and Linda Elder is not just a book. It is a guide for living a thoughtful, rational, and meaningful life. The authors remind us that while everyone thinks, few people think well. By applying the elements of thought, the standards of reasoning, and the practice of self-reflection, we can move beyond egocentric and sociocentric thinking and make decisions that are fair, logical, and evidence-based. Critical thinking is more than an academic skill. It is a way of life. It empowers us to resist manipulation, to see through misinformation, and to approach challenges with clarity and confidence. In a world filled with noise and distraction, critical thinking is the compass that guides us towards truth and wisdom. By practicing it daily, we take charge not only of our learning, but also of our future.
Be part of our journey. If you find our content valuable and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support motivates us to keep going and bring you the best content, so don't forget to leave a like and share the video with those who might benefit.